Hello everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Paleontologizing. I'm here at Zoo, Montana, in Billings, Montana, USA. Don't really have any good dinosaur museums in this part of the state, so doing the next best thing. You might even argue much better thing. We're going to see some live animals today, and I am very, very excited. Techman GWJ, hey, welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to see you here. Yeah, mobile, walking around today. Streaming Science, thank you for the host once again. And Filthy Badger, hello to you. We might actually see some badgers here at the zoo. I know we're going to see some wolverines. Very excited about that. And
Alan. Alan.
Su paleo birds are dinos 1 paleo yes.
A great day so far. I'm cooking with Lordy. How are you? Great to see you. I hope your day is off to a great start as well. Happy Monday, everyone. It is Monday, right? At least here in the States it is. Token GP's first stream I've managed to catch live. Welcome, Token. It's great to have you here. Welcome to Paleontology. Hey, Sopluff. How are you doing? And, Claw Arcade, 9 months of support. Thank you so much for that, Claw Arcade. That means a lot to me. It's what keeps me here online, so thank you. Stuff isn't cheap, so every bit of support I really appreciate. So I can keep bringing you this kind of thing. Of course, we're here at the zoo today. This is not my normal kind of content for anybody who might be new. Normally I stream paleontology stuff, but paleontology, study of fossils, is kind of a weird amalgam of geology and biology. Yesterday we did some geology at Medicine Rock State Park outside of Ekalaka, Montana. Now I'm in central Montana, and we're going to do some biology, some zoology, looking at some live animals. And of course, like I said, paleontology is like a mix of biology and geology, and different paleontologists are on either side of that spectrum. I'm much further toward the biology part, the biology pole there of the two. So I'm going to be right at home here. I'm so excited to share this with you. Audio is super quiet. Let me turn it up. There we go. How's that? Thank you, Lordy. I appreciate that. Yeah, Zoo Montana 420, Nathan. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah. Can you hear me now? You should be able to, I hope. I had to turn the little rocker thing up. I guess it got turned down. So, can you hear me now? Much better? Okay. Could you guys hear any of this earlier? Shoot. I appreciate the feedback. But once again, I'm here at Zoo Montana in Billings, Montana. This is the only zoo in the whole state. They've got some very cool stuff. We're going to see some Amur tigers. You might know them as Siberian tigers. We're going to see some red pandas. We're going to see some wolves. We're going to see some bison. Maybe some wolverines. And I might even get a chance to meet the kookaburra that I met the other day at the Dino Shindig in Ekalaka. Let's see. Not one bit? Okay, Claire. Well, let me just say hello, everybody, and welcome to Paleontologizing. My name's Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. I'm here on Twitch just trying to do some good old-fashioned science outreach, answering people's questions, sharing my passion for this wonderful world around us and all the wonderful organisms that we share it with. And we're going to be doing that today at the zoo. I've talked before a lot about how paleontology is kind of a funny amalgam of geology and biology. And we did our geology yesterday at Medicine Rock State Park outside of Ekalaka. Today we're going to be doing some biology, specifically zoology, looking at some animals. And again, if paleontology is an amalgam of geology and biology, I'm much more on the biological side of things. So I'm going to have, hopefully, a lot more to say about this stuff today than I would, just looking at geology. So yeah. Right here at the entrance of the zoo. And we're going to go explore. I've never been here before. I lived in Montana for 8 years. And I'd never been to the zoo, the only zoo in the state. So I will be experiencing this for the first time alongside you. I'm impressed with the landscaping so far. It's pretty nice. It's almost a botanical garden as much as it is a zoo. Oh, and we've even got some labels over here. Little placards telling us about the plants. Austrian pine. Very cool. Yellowstone arboretum. Interesting. I didn't know we had an arboretum here. Got a Wichita blue juniper. Very cool. Look at that. It really is. It's kind of a nice bluish color. Very cool. Let me just say hello to everybody real quick again. Filthy Badger, Avatar, Bubsy, good to see you. Haramza, Elaine Dunn, how are you doing? Hope your day's off to a good start. Token GP, welcome to Paleontologizing. I'm glad you finally get to catch one of these live, right? Yeah. So Fluff, how are you doing? And Cooking with Lordy, how are you doing, Lordy? Thank you for joining us so early today. I know it's still early where you are, so thanks for being here. Techman GWJ, welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to see you. Claw Arcade, thank you for the 9 months of support. I really appreciate that. It's what keeps me online. I wouldn't be able to do this without support from viewers like you, so thank you, Claw Arcade. CBS Unstoppable, hey to you too. How are you doing? Welcome. And Private 23 says, yesterday was beautiful. Great, I'm so glad you enjoyed that. It's going to be some more cool stuff today. Blue Gintaro says, I hear you. Thank you, Blue Gintaro. I see your messages too. Chat's working now. The modem that I run chat off of is, I've got signal today. So hopefully we'll be able to do a raid at the end of the stream too. I didn't have enough connectivity to be able to orient a raid yesterday. But yeah. And Commander Meerkat says, I didn't know paleontology was on Twitch. Well, now you do. Welcome. Yeah, let's go see some animals. I mean, the Arboretum is very cool. Trees are very cool.
Do you think
very much appreciate them.
are put together correctly? The bones.
I really came here to see some animals.
You're smart. There.
Do a research on that, Oliver.
Kids waving at the camera.
No expense.
Alright, we're going to start off
Gifted Commander Meerkat a
with some more familiar animals, I guess.
Squirrel gifted a tier 1
Take a
sub
look
to
at...
Commander Meerkat. They have given
We've talked a lot about
301
these
gift
critters
subs
on this channel before. We're going to see some living dinosaurs. You ready? Here we are. Hey there, guys. How are you? Yeah. Wow, you're personable. There's some domestic chickens. Gallus domesticus.
Come look at these chickens.
Very cool. Oh, I wish I had a quarter on me. I might have to come back. Very cool. Didn't even think about that. Neat. And some living theropods right here. In the flesh and feather. Pretty neat. So, I've done a lot of talking about the Dino Chicken Project on this channel before. So the whole idea of kind of back engineering a chicken, recovering these atavistic traits so that it'll superficially resemble something like, I guess, a velociraptor or something like that. This is a project with Dana Rashid and Jack Horner. Pretty cool to think that a creature like this is carrying genes from something, like a Tyrannosaurus or a Velociraptor, but they really are. Those creatures had feathers too. Velociraptor had feathers all over its body. Which, yes, Jurassic World lied to you about that. Yeah. So if you want to find the creatures today that most resemble theropods like Velociraptor, Tyrannosaurus, Allosaurus. It's chickens. Chickens evolved from theropod dinosaurs. All birds evolved from theropod dinosaurs. So birds are really the last living members of Dinosauria. The last dinosaurs. They managed to survive that asteroid impact. And we still have them here today. Pretty cool. Enjoying your breakfast there? Pretty good, right? Very cool. Yeah. Alright, maybe if I can get hold of a quarter, I can feed these guys. But for right now, I think we're going to move on before this area gets too crowded. I'm going to try and stay ahead of the crowds today. Or maybe we'll come back. Oh, look at you. Big showy display structures like that. This is something we've talked a lot about too. So with dinosaurs, most of the time we just have skeletal remains. So like when we're reconstructing them, when we're trying to figure out what dinosaurs would have looked like while they were alive, you know, we would be missing things like soft tissue structures. You know, like that comb on the top of the rooster's head, or like that wattle underneath its beak. That sort of thing doesn't normally fossilize. And it's funny, in the few cases where we do have remarkably complete, well-preserved dinosaurs that do have soft, like, the ones that would have soft tissue structures usually do. There's usually stuff that we wouldn't have really imagined to be there. A good case is Edmontosaurus regalis from up in Canada. This is the one before the Hell Creek Formation, so slightly before T-Rex and Triceratops. But Edmontosaurus regalis, there was a specimen that shows that it had like a fleshy comb on the top of its head, almost like a Corythosaurus or Hypacrosaurus type crest, with no bone in it, just soft tissue. So it really makes you think, like, how many dinosaurs have structures like that that we don't know about yet because we just don't have well-preserved enough specimens. Yeah. So it's cool how modern creatures like chickens can kind of, you know, give us new perspectives on Mesozoic dinosaurs. Alright, I'm entering this barn right now. There's a bunch of house sparrows in here. See over there? English house sparrow, Passera domesticus. Those are not zoo animals. Those just moved in here. So they're doing all that chirping. Let's see. Looks like we've got some miniature donkeys. Let's see if we can track them down. Some Nigerian dwarf goats. Very cool. I don't know if I get a chance to get up close and personal with the goats, but I'd be a little bit leery. They might try and chew on the live stream gear. Try and eat my cables. Wow, and we have some alpacas over there. Very cool. Here, take a look. Got some goats. Hey, goats. And some alpacas. Hey, alpacas. How are you doing? Very cool. Now, these are all domestic animals. So these have been selectively bred over hundreds, maybe thousands of generations. Probably hundreds of generations. To be more docile, to be more patient with people, more comfortable around them. How you doing? Look at those pupils. Pretty cool. Alpaca's over there. It's so small. I guess I've never been this close to an alpaca before. I'm more used to llamas. But alpacas are another one of those cool domesticated animals. The wild stock do not look like this. Hey there. How you doing, alpaca friend? Oh, aren't you cool? Yeah. So these have been selectively bred for wool, and probably for other stuff too. But the wild representatives of that group, like the wild stock, those are vicuñas, which are still around in South America. They're Oh, no. Vicuñas are guanacos. No, vicuñas are wild alpacas, and I think guanacos are wild llamas, I want to say. Anyway. Very cool. So these guys right here, are actually related to camels. They are camelids. It's kind of an interesting story with camels. Because camels first evolved in North America. Their fossil record goes all the way back to I think to the Eocene? Some of our earliest camelid ancestors. The earliest ones that we've got. So camelids first evolved in North America, and they lived here. We had camels here in North America up until probably 12,000 years ago, with the whole Pleistocene megafauna. So at the same time that there were, mammoths and mastodons and saber-toothed cats, giant ground sloths and dire wolves, and all those critters were walking around, we also had great big North American camels. I don't know what the current taxonomy is for camels, but like camelops, I think, is one of the famous genera. You can look that up, camelops. But they're in the La Brea tar pits, alongside those other critters that I mentioned. And then they just all disappear at about the same time that the first people show up in North America. So that's the thing, is the climate was changing back then pretty rapidly, and you also had people moving in. Maybe that was kind of a 1-2 punch that drove those critters into extinction. But they managed to hang on in South America, camelids. We had vicuñas and guanacos, and they are still around today. But Filthy Badger's telling me vicuñas are a protected species in South America. I believe that, yeah. It's cool that like ancestral stock is still around. Because for some other critters, like aurochs, the ancestors of modern-day cattle, those are extinct. But their descendants are everywhere. Pretty cool. Wow. Very neat. I wish I could get up closer to them. Maybe we'll go see this goat. He's smiling at us right there. How you doing, goat friend?
The world's
Like your
first
beard.
armored tank, you might say. That trunk is completely covered with thin, bony plates.
Let's see. And a random bug UK says, I'm sure the alpaca has tuned their ears to hear quarters entering the feed machine. I'm kicking myself for not having brought quarters. I have a bunch in the car in a bag for stuff like this, and I just slipped my mind that I was too focused on getting ready for the stream. Hey, goat friend. How are you doing? This is some impressive horns that you've got. I really like those. Look how wide your body is, too. Kind of reminds me of a pachycephalosaur or an ankylosaur. How the ribs just go woof out to the sides like that. Really, really broad. Yeah. Just chilling over here. I'm glad you've got some shade over there. It is going to be hot today. So you're enjoying the cool of the shade right now. Yeah. Pretty cool. I hope you have a good day, goat friend. We're going to go see some other critters. Smart goats resting in the shade. Exactly, Ice Allen. Exactly. Today, it was forecast to be like well over 100. But I think it's probably going to be cooler than that. There's like a smoke layer that's covering Billings right now. Undoubtedly from the wildfires. Seems like Billings always has kind of a haze over it. Every time I would drive through Billings when I lived in Montana, there was always just kind of a
field isn't narrow to what we understand.
Just a
On the
haze
contrary, we
over the
stretch
town.
our
It's the biggest town in
understanding
Montana.
of
It's
the
got like
universe.
100,000 residents. And there's like refineries and stuff, and a lot of pollution, it always felt like. So yeah, I almost didn't notice that it's this hazy. I think it's hazier than usual because of some wildfires nearby. We've got some dwarf donkeys over here. Hello there. How you doing, donkey friends? Look at those ears. Is that right? Wow.
This is a herbivore and that's a dinosaur.
And I don't know if these are a flight risk or what, but They are being held in by an electric fence right now. Uh-oh, be careful. I don't know which one of those wires is the hot one. Yeah, pretty cool. And they've got a big car wash brush over there for scratching themselves on. Big old soccer ball or football, depending on where you're from. Yeah, pretty neat. Pretty neat. So just like camelids, like camels and llamas and their relatives, equids, horses, also first evolved in North America. Which is kind of funny. They're another one of those critters that they first show up here in like the Eocene around like 50 million years ago. Something like maybe 16 million years after the extinction of the non-avian dinosaurs, when mammals are starting to diversify and get big, explore different niches and stuff. It takes them kind of a while to do that. But the first horses show up back then in North America. So as far as we know, horses first evolved right here in North America, and then they existed here until the Pleistocene. They went extinct at the same time as North American camels and giant ground sloths and mammoths. So a lot of people are under the impression that like the Spanish conquistadors and their buddies brought the first horses here to North America. That's not true. Horses had existed here before, and we've got fossils of them from all over the US. And Canada and Mexico too. But then they go extinct during the Pleistocene megafaunal extinction. And so really, horses coming back into North America was a reintroduction. Like, they'd been here before, as a group. Yeah. Let's see. Now I've seen bluffing electric fence signs, but I don't see why that would be the case here, says Moosey Fate. I think it's only the top wires are electric. Look right here, they've got those like yellow baffle things on them. Those are probably the hot wires, I would imagine. Yeah. Anyway, hey donkey friend, how are you? Oh, flaring your nostrils ass. Sorry I don't have any food for you. I don't know if we're allowed to feed you guys. Yeah. Los burros pequeños. Very cool critters. Touch it, we'll watch you get thrown backwards. Ice Allen, this probably doesn't have much juice in it. And it says do not feed the donkeys. They have very sensitive stomachs and may become sick if fed anything other than the diets prepared by their keepers. Okay. Oh, don't eat that. There we go. Oh, hope that's not TOS. But yeah, go tell the keeper to give you a snack. Well, Claire, we'll see. I actually decided to come here today and stream because there were 3 zookeepers who were at the Dino Shindig in Ekalaka just a few days ago. And as I was wrestling with my live stream gear in the back room, like in the office space area, I was there for like 6 hours just trying to get these confounded things to work. And so the zookeepers were going in and out with all these different animals. They had a bearded dragon and a kookaburra. I heard they might have had an armadillo too. I didn't get to see the armadillo, but I got to meet the kookaburra. Her name was Sydney.
On formal occasions,
and she was very well behaved.
Big fella, isn't he?
And I wonder if she's back. I wonder if we'll get to see her today. But I got a really nice picture up close of Sydney the kookaburra. So maybe I'll share that on Twitter or on the Discord later.
On formal occasions,
start doing some stuff on the Discord.
Big fella,
I haven't had time with all the equipment malfunctions and
70
everything.
feet long.
Oh, we've got some koi in
The
here.
scales at a substantial 35
Hey,
tons.
koi friends. I need to get some quarters. So that we can feed some of these critters. fact, maybe I'll go do that now if I can find a shop. I think I've just got a 20 on me, but hopefully they can break that.
And there's one
Yeah.
all by
Very cool. There's some bison over there in that enclosure. We'll go see them in a little bit. But right now, let me try and get some quarters. We can feed some of these animals. This will be the best time to do it too. Early in the morning. You know, they haven't had a billion people feeding them already. They'll be nice and hungry, and they'll be very appreciative. So yeah. Don't feed the koi or $20. No, Moosey Fate, not all of it. Let's see if I can find either a change machine or a shop where I can get some quarters. Alright. I'm walking along back to the entrance over here. Love the landscaping in here. It's very nice.
Hey! Hi, lady. Hi. Good, how are you?
Got people running into each other who know each other. It's a very common thing in Montana. It's not a big state. An interesting dark night. I didn't know that if it's below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, it definitely is not today here in Billings. It's probably in the 80s already. I wonder if they'll have change over at the... Oh, there we go. I think if I go into the shop there, hopefully we'll have something. We can feed some of these critters. Alright, I might need to switch this to... Billings is huge, though. By Montana standards, it is Dragon Snout, yeah. Look at who we have here. Peafowl. Must be a male. Maybe had the... Are you a male or female? I forget what the females look like. I know they're more drab than the males. Have your feathers been clipped? Or do you just not have the big tail fan? She must be a female. Hey there. You're beautiful. Just look at that iridescent pattern. Look at those beautiful blues and greens. Yeah. Wow. It's got free reign around here. Wherever she wants. You know what? That could be clipped back there. I don't know. Somebody in chat is going to know peafowl better than I do. Is this a peacock or a peahen? Is this male or female? That's a male? Okay, Izzy. They don't have that blue? That makes a lot of sense, yeah. So it's a male who's had some of the feathers trimmed. This must be such a burden. It's it's probably a relief to not have that, you know? But yeah. Anyway, this is kind of the classic example of the difference between natural selection and sexual selection. Like when Charles Darwin coined these terms. So natural selection, you know, you're just competing in your environment, trying to escape from predators, trying to find food, trying to, you know, leave the most offspring. But leaving the most offspring is where things get complicated. Well, you can have things that make you a more kind of appealing mate that would also reduce your fitness in other areas. This is the classic example. It's like, you know, a peacock has these big, ridiculous tail feathers that are really, really showy and really appealing to, you know, to females. But, you know, it could make you much more likely to get eaten by a tiger or something. So natural selection and sexual selection, they're not the same thing. They can actually work in opposition to each other, which is really interesting. Hi there. What a beautiful animal. I love they just roam around the grounds here, just do their thing. Look at those feet, too. Just like a theropod dinosaur.
A real mean
Except in
kid.
birds, usually the hallux, the like,
With 6-inch
claw
daggers
back,
for
the
teeth,
backward pointing
he
one,
was the terror of his
usually contacts the
neighborhood.
ground in birds, and it does not in theropod dinosaurs. Theropod dinosaurs usually only have 3 toes that contact the ground, but modern birds have 4. The hallux actually, gives them extra traction, or if they're a perching bird, it helps them perch. It's backwards pointing like that. But non-avian theropod dinosaurs, the hallux is basically vestigial. Maybe it had some function in like dromaeosaurs and stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't know if we really have a firm handle on that yet. But yeah, even walks like a dinosaur. Well, it is, Ice Alan. They are. These are modern theropod dinosaurs. They're the last surviving members of that group. He's gonna go off and go do his thing. We'll probably encounter him again. But let me get my hands on some quarters, so we can feed some of these animals before they're all full later in the day. Hang on a minute here. Hi there. Can I just get some change, get some quarters for all of the, Perfect, thank you. Alright. Let's see here. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can get this. Can I get this in 5s? Thank you.
Are you a YouTuber?
Pardon?
Are you a YouTuber?
Twitch, actually, yeah. I do like science live streams on Twitch. Yeah. I can give you a card if you're curious, but yeah. Yeah. I think somebody sent Jeff a text asking if I could do this. I was at the Dino Shindig in Ekalaka a couple days ago, and you had 3 zookeepers there, and I talked to them, and they were really cool, yeah. Yeah.
Emily and Katie.
Yeah, yeah. And there was somebody else too, but I didn't catch her name.
Oh, yeah, Brooke.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, thanks again. All right, let's get some quarters. No, you're fine. No worries. All right, there's some quarters. $5 worth. Let's get some more. Where did I put those bills? Just had those a second ago. Usually my reflex is to put it in my back pocket. I don't think I did that.
You guys have a good rest of your day.
Just to put it in here. Well, you know what? $5 in quarters is okay for right now. I can always come back and get more if I need to. Some hand sanitizer. There we go. Okay, everybody. Let's go feed some critters. Checking to see some grasshoppers. Yeah, I saw one. I should have picked up some of the grasshoppers from yesterday. There were a bunch where I was at. Oh, right here. So a lot of people don't realize it, but red pandas are actually really big. Gives you some sense of scale. I'm just kidding.
We will see some real red pandas in a little bit.
But yeah. Where did I put that extra $15? I think I dropped it on the ground. Further proof that I have a dog's brain. Put it back in there? No. Well, it'll turn up or it won't. Let's hope if I dropped it, it gets donated to the zoo fund. Got too many things in my pockets right now to keep track.
This is Laura Dern of Jurassic Park. Digging up dinosaurs is hard, frustrating work. It takes months or years, so leave it to the professionals.
Time is wasting. Let's go feed some animals. Let's see. Paramedics Underground says, Danny, are there roadblocks keeping you from being able to dig into the soil and fossil hunt live? Well, I'm not with a crew right now, or else I would be doing that. There are a few places I could have gone that I don't think I have any reception, so I wouldn't be able to stream that. And the whole point of this summer is to be able to stream things. But yeah, as sort of a freelancer, I don't really have much wherewithal to get permits and stuff like that to collect on public land. And I don't know too many private landowners who have fossiliferous land, so yeah, I guess you could say that there's some roadblocks right now. We'll see if we can sort that out by the time next summer rolls around. But right now, I'm just really lucky to be able to go out and live stream it all like this. Like, having all this gear and everything. This is all totally new to me. And I just feel really fortunate to be able to do this sort of thing at all. I feel like once I've got a few more hours of this sort of thing, maybe a few dozen more hours of this sort of thing under my belt, and I've really learned how all of this stuff works, then I might be able to split my time between streaming like this and fieldwork. But fieldwork kind of requires your full attention, you know? So, yeah. All right. Quarters. So here, we're gonna feed some koi. And then we'll go over and say hello to the chickens. Everybody else. I think this might require 2 hands. So, bear with me here. What? Thing's almost empty. I should have checked that beforehand. Well, we just made a 25-cent donation. Let me go check the other dispenser. But you see what I mean, where when you're streaming, like, everything else becomes more difficult. Because you're multitasking. So yeah. Is that one empty too? Oh, okay, good. This one over here is. All right, let's get some koi food. Okay. There we go. Dropped a few on the ground, let me pick those up. Alright. Go over here. Oh, I've never actually seen the Latin name for koi before. Cyprinus carpio. Yeah, they are members of the carp family. Alright, I'm going to very carefully put these on here so I don't have to hold them. And then... Hey, carp buddies. It's funny, they're all used to congregating over there. Let's see if I can get them to change their habits a little bit. Oh, you didn't sense that? It might not have as sensitive a lateral line as something like sharks. Might not be able to sense those vibrations in the water quite as well. Let's see. There we go. Okay. They don't seem too keen on it. There we go. Get the feeding frenzy started here. Really putting a lot of faith in this phone holder at the moment. Faith that my phone's not going to fly out and go into the drink. Alright, let's get a few more of these. Just keep spooking each other. These are some of the least food-motivated koi I've ever seen. Here, we got Big Mama over here. Let's see if she wants something. Just completely missed it. Very nice. Alright. Let's do a grand finale here and get rid of the rest of these, and we'll go feed some other critters. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Yeah. Oh, there you go, Mr. Ictian. Yeah. It's, oh, these are koi fish. Yeah.
Fish in here?
Yeah.
Alligators.
No, I don't know if we've got alligators at this zoo. I don't think so. I could be wrong, though.
Can I hop this fence?
No, you shouldn't hop the fence.
Are there cameras nearby?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, they'll kick you out if you do something like that.
So what about these ones?
Yeah, those are... So these ponds are connected right here. So the same fish swim back and forth.
Really? That's boring. Must be boring for them.
Alright, and we'll go see the bison over there. Actually, you know what? Let's go and find our alpacas and our goats and everything. Yeah. You want to see? Yeah.
It's a live stream setup, so I'm streaming to Twitch right now.
Oh, no, don't hold it, please.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
it's okay. But yeah,
Is that speaker right there on the top?
it's a microphone, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Where'd you get that
I got it online, yeah.
at? Online?
Yeah. So I do science live streams, so I talk to people about science, mostly fossils and stuff.
Oh.
And then, yeah, I don't know.
How much did it cost?
This? I don't remember how much, but it was a lot. I had to save up for it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are
Cool.
you broke now?
No, I'm doing fine. But yeah.
How long did you get this?
Not too long ago. It was like a couple months ago. Yeah.
Oh.
Still kind of new. But A lot of these parts are used. I got them for cheap.
So how do you use it?
Well, right now I'm broadcasting to Twitch, and so there's a bunch of people watching right now. And yeah. Anyway, yeah, cool. Just poo. Don't worry. All right, let's go see if we can. There's our donkey friends again.
I'm sorry you can't go sit in the shade. The shade's all out of, it's past the electric fence right there. How you doing, donkey friend? I'm sorry we can't feed you either. It's against the rules, or else I would. My buddies are over there in the shade. They've got the right idea. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no treats for the donkey friend, Patrick Byron. How you doing, Patrick? It's good to see you. Yeah. Well, let's see. TV Ruby says, "Hi, Danny. Say hello from Australia." I'm not in Australia. I'm in Montana. Hello from Montana. To any Australians who are watching, I hope you're having a nice winter's evening. Is that right? Oh, man, I saw that goat's head flick
Just as soon as it heard my footsteps. I come bearing quarters for you, goat friend.
Let's feed some goats and some alpacas. Oh. Yeah, you know that sound. You know that sound. Hello. Suddenly you're interested in me, huh? Yeah. Can I say hello? Hi. You doing some scratching over there? Yeah. All right. I didn't turn this all the way because I think when I do, everything's just going to spill out. So hang on a second. Okay, these are big enough that I can just pick them up off the ground. It's not like they're going to spill everywhere. Put these right here. Hey there. Yeah, pretty good, huh? You want some too? Okay, I'll get you some. Hey. Oh, just went like that. Yeah. Wow. Let's see if I can get an up-close shot. You're okay. You're okay. Here, take a look. Doesn't like the camera. Oh, it's okay. Camera's not gonna hurt you. Jeez, Chad, you're scaring the goats. Hey. There you go. Yeah. See? It's nothing to worry about. It's just a camera. It's got a big fuzzy microphone on the top. So, here, can you see the shadow right there? That big bulbous thing. That's bigger than the camera. That's the mic. Alpaca friends, do you want some food? Or is this only for goats?
Goat feed only, please. Thank you.
Okay. So it tells me I can't give it to the alpacas, and I can't eat it myself. But I don't know, this stuff looks pretty good. What do you think? Yeah. Is it pretty good? Pretty good? Yeah. Oh. So you're actually pretty sweet. I know you have a tough exterior.
But you're actually a sweet one, huh? I wouldn't put you out here to interact with the public if you weren't. Huh. Yeah. Do some scratching. Do you want some more? I've got more quarters. I got quarters for days. Let's get you some more. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's funny, the feed looks a lot like their poops. Just a little bit bigger and lighter. Oh!
Oh, yeah. You see I've got more? Yeah. Oh. I'm sorry you can't fit through the fence. But here, I'll get you some, okay? Here, why don't you come over here? Put these there for you. There you go. Yeah. Well, pretty good? That's it for that. Let me get you another one. Is that good stuff? This reminds me of... Well, it reminds me of dog kibble, but it also reminds me of like some of the veggie burgers I used to get years and years ago. Before those things got good. They used to be awful. Some of the like old garden burgers and stuff used to be pretty terrible. This is probably much the same sort of thing. Just like plant meal. Yeah. I see you over there. You want some too? I didn't miss you. Here. There you go. Well, you're clearly the dominant one. He scoots out of the way when you come by. I should say she, I guess. Well, I don't know. Can't really see the gear. Can't really see the gear. Do the males and females have horns? We should probably ask Mary, huh? From Mary's Milk Monsters. But yeah. Let's see. Right side of life. Hey, welcome to Paleontologizing. I'm glad you're here. And normally I'm talking about extinct animals. But we're looking at some living animals today. And it has been a pleasure so far. Put some hand sanitizer on my hands. Alright. Maybe I'll catch you later, goats. And alpacas. Alright. Man, house sparrows everywhere in here. They just love it. Building little nests in the rafters. This little barn. They're big, too. These are bigger than the ones that we have back home in California. There's a name for that. There's a phenomenon in like evolutionary biology where animals at higher latitudes tend to be larger. And warmer climates, creatures, it behooves them to be smaller. I think it helps them dump heat faster. But when you're in a more northerly or a more southerly climate, higher latitudes, you need to retain your body heat more, so it behooves you to be larger. Anyway, hey chicken friends. Ooh. Do you know that sound? Sound of clinking quarters. Alright, I'm gonna gotta hold this like this. There we go, that's the good stuff. Okay. Hey chicken friends, hey. Yeah, you want some over here? Look. Hey. You not interested in this stuff anymore? You've had enough of it? Want some grass instead? The sparrows are certainly interested. And look at you! You a little bantam or something? Look at all of that. You're a tiny guy. Just little theropods walking around doing their theropod thing. Like they've done for, I don't know, 100 and... Well, no, shoot. 235 million years at least. Got theropods walking around doing their theropod thing. We still have them here today. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Looking for bugs, exactly, DK79. They're probably tired of this feed stuff. They get that every day. They want something higher in protein. They want to chase something. Oh, and here's our peacock friend again, hanging out in the shade. He's very interested in whatever's going on under his wing right now. Hi there. How are you? What are you up to?
You enjoying the shade over here? I wonder how often you go into the other animals' enclosures and you just freak them out.
Does it happen a lot? Is that a thing that you do?
What? What's that look for?
Huh? Thanks for letting me be in your space. I know this is your territory. So thanks for not coming over and pecking at me. Look at those crazy feathers on your head.
Look at that.
Reminds me of that theropod dinosaur from Brazil, just described last year, Ubirahara. Ubirahara hubetus, I think is the full name. But it's got these crazy, like rod-like structures coming off of near its shoulder blades. They're almost certainly feathers. It's really hard to see, like to determine exactly what they are, but you know, it stands to reason that they would be feathers. Kind of reminds me of those crazy structures you got on your head. Very cool. Yeah. And Kirsten says the peacocks at the zoo I worked at used to leave the zoo grounds and go out into the local neighborhood. Very cool. You know, I was out walking around Columbus, Montana last night, where I was staying. And I thought I heard a peacock call. But I don't know. I could definitely be wrong about that. You are so cool. I wish you'd make some noise. It was such a cool sounding call. Yeah. It's like fascinated by the camera right now. Maybe it does look like a head on the end of a neck, the camera, on this selfie stick. Yeah. You are so cool. Well, we have plenty of other animals to check out. Maybe we'll come back and see you soon, huh? Alright. You take care of yourself. You stay cool.
It's a hot one today.
Just stick around? Yeah, Hannies, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of food for them. They know that they'll be well treated. People aren't going to chase them. They're not going to be accosted by any dogs or anything like that, like they might if they're wandering around a neighborhood. Yeah. And hey, Aditya, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome to Zoo Montana, here in Billings, Montana, USA. We're gonna go see some classic prairie animals in just a moment here. There's a neat little sign. The prairie ecosystem.
If we had dinosaurs now,
here in South
could they
Central,
get along
we were in the midst of one of the largest and least disturbed grass prairies in the world. A mere 150 years ago, grasslands stretched from Canada to Mexico, supporting a wildlife population as varied and abundant as is found today on Africa's richest savannas. Everything from, we've got black-footed ferrets, prairie rattlesnakes, badgers. That's probably a coyote. I don't think it's a wolf. Was there pronghorn? I showed you one of those at the Carter County Museum. Prairie dogs, bobcats, more pronghorns, and is that a mule deer? Yeah. I like this quote here. The last word in ignorance is the man who says of an animal or plant, what good is it? If the land mechanism as a whole is good, then every part is good, whether we understand it or not. To keep every cog and wheel is the first precaution of intelligent tinkering. Aldo Leopold, Sand Country Almanac, 1949. Very cool. Now we are going to see some of those critters right over here. Wow, there is a bison right over there. We're going to get up close and personal with it. Oh, it's not very often that you get to look down onto a bison, because they're pretty big animals. But you are about to do that with me. Let's see. And Mr. Ictian, no, the whole prairie ecosystem, the fact that there were like millions upon millions of bison everywhere, that is kind of a broken ecosystem. They're like some of the last megafauna to survive. But I don't know, it doesn't make them any less majestic. Hey there, bison. Wow, look at the big bull. He is certainly lord and master of his domain. That must be a cow right there. A little calf and a bull. Man, they are big. Oh, and there's a big old biting fly. I don't know if you can see. Right there, just out of reach of his tail. He like barely even notices. What's she doing to that barrel? Eating the cool grass in the shadow under that barrel. It's gotta taste good. Little calf right there. Oh, I'm laying down in the shade. What are you doing? Oh, very cool. It's gonna be a hot one today, guys. It already is. It's gonna get hotter, though. Yeah, bison don't really care that much, though. I mean, holy cow, are these adaptable, resilient animals. There was it the winter of 1899, I think it was? Really, really bad winter here in Montana. It was like half the cattle in the entire state died. And bison just plowed right through. I mean, they were fine. Supremely well adapted to life in this environment. From summer heat to frigid winters. Just taking a whiz right there. Just checking that out. His nose got all wet. Did you see that? Oh, that's funny. TOS, I know, right, Trek Nerd? Hopefully not. Adita says there is an excessive heat warning in southeast Montana today and tomorrow. Yeah, I know. I kept getting notifications on my phone and on the weather radio. Yeah, luckily I've got a hotel for the night. So I've got AC. Even if I didn't, I'd still have AC in the car. It's been a godsend. Man, look at that shaggy wool coming off of them. She might want to scratch that off before the day really, really heats up. Keep things a little bit cooler for her. Snuffling around in the hay. In the straw there. Ooh, is that good stuff? Very cool. Well, there was a time when there were tens of millions of these animals. They stretched all the way from the California coast down to the southern tip of Florida. The Spanish explorers reported seeing them there in southern Florida, like from their ships, I think. Man, they used to be everywhere, and they very nearly went extinct. I can actually tell you a quick story about bison, if you want to hear it. Give me a 2 in chat if you want to hear a story about bison that kind of ties together the history of bison conservation with the discovery of Tyrannosaurus. It's a broad range of climates, I know, right, Chakula? Absolutely. Well, we've got some twos here. Okay. I wrote out like a whole script for this, so this will be a YouTube video eventually. When I finally have time for that sort of thing. I'm going to focus on research before I do that. But anyway, see if I can remember the broad strokes of it for you. But back around the turn of the century, like the very late 1800s, actually it might have even, I think it was like 1900 or 1901, bison were very quickly disappearing out on the American plains. That wasn't by accident, by any stretch. The US government actually had like a systematic campaign to try and exterminate these animals as a way to try and exterminate the Plains Indians. You know, these people who, you know, their entire lives kind of centered around the bison, following them, hunting them for food and using their pelts, and, you know, you already know all of that. But it was a systematic campaign by the US government to try and just kill as many bison as possible. They would offer bounties for them, and they'd pay for bison pelts and for bones, and really, really shameful. But there were some people on the east coast of the United States who realized how shameful this was, and some of them really wanted to capture some of the last bison in order to form like a herd in captivity. They could breed and then keep these things from going extinct. But there were some other people who said, we just need to collect some specimens.
With 6-inch daggers for teeth, he was the
so that we
terror of
can
his
take them back
neighborhood.
here to the East Coast and put them on display, because these animals are going to be extinct within 10 years. That's what they thought, so we might as well get some now. That was the way people thought back then, even like environmentally minded people. So there was a young man, a taxidermist from the East Coast. He was working for the Smithsonian Institution. I believe his name was William Temple Hornaday, and he was sent out on assignment to eastern Montana. So, not really too far from here. I drove through this area yesterday. And, because he had heard that there were bison there. It was one of the last places in the West where you could still find wild bison. One of the last remaining little pockets of bison that were still alive. And so he went out there to a place that's now known as Garfield County in eastern Montana. To a place near what is today called Hell Creek. Back then it was called Big Dry Creek, I believe. But he was out there in the prairie and in amongst the Badlands, and he found a beautiful herd of bison. And he wrote about this, and he said that like there was this big, majestic, beautiful bull, and then some cows and some calves. And he just sat and watched them for a while. He'd been looking for weeks and weeks to try and find bison, hadn't seen anything. He thought maybe they were all gone until he finds this one little herd. And so he put his rifle up to his eye, looked through the sights, and he said it was the most... He'd never felt any more regret in his entire life than when he did when he pulled the trigger and killed the big bull. And then all the rest of them, too, that he could get. But he brought them back to the east coast of the United States, to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. And there they were put on display. But this was a big deal at the time. I want to say that Hornaday was also instrumental in designing the exhibit, but it was the first time where there was like a true museum diorama. Really well done, where with these animals kind of running through a facsimile of their habitat. So it was supposed to look just like, just like the prairie environment, with the grass and the proper, like, he brought back some sediment from this area too, so they even got the dirt right and everything else. And this exhibit was an enormous hit. Millions upon millions of people saw this exhibit. And ironically enough, this is actually credited with helping save the bison from extinction. Because people on the East Coast, back then, almost everybody in the U.S., almost all American citizens, at least in the U.S., lived on the East Coast. That's the major population center. Very few people lived anywhere else. And so all the people with any sort of power in society lived on the East Coast. All the people with any sort of money. Those are the people who you needed on your side to try and, you know, protect these animals. And so really it was a kind of science outreach, what William Temple Hornaday did. And, yeah, and the big bull, this might be apocryphal, but I've heard that it's actually, like, it is that bull that is on the seal of the U.S. Department of the Interior, and on the, is it the $5 or the $10 bill? But there is a beautiful bison illustration on there. It's like really sought after by numismatists, I think, like people who collect money, people who collect coins. But that was that same bison. I forget his name, but he's got a nickname. But anyway, while William Temple Hornaday was out there in big dry country in eastern Montana, he found some bones. What later turned out to be Triceratops, and he brought word of that back to the East Coast. And then Barnum Brown from the American Museum of Natural History in New York went out following these reports to find fossils in this area, and that's when he discovered Tyrannosaurus rex. So it's interesting how the history of the bison and its conservation in North America and its near extinction is tied in with the history of one of the most famous dinosaurs around. So, pretty cool, I think.
There must be some good forage down there, yeah. Very nice.
Alright. It's getting really hot over here. I gotta make sure my encoder doesn't overheat, so I'm gonna go stand in the shade for a minute. Yep, don't shoot things. Exactly, Ice Allen. Now, it was the Canadians who actually saved the bison from extinction. There was a small herd in northern Montana, I think near Havre, or somewhere near there. There was a small herd that was captured alive and then brought up into Canada. And, like, that stock of wild bison has been held in captivity and then, you know, like, captively bred, and that is why we have bison around today, is because of some people, very few people with some actual foresight back then, who wanted to preserve these animals for the future and keep them from going extinct. So we have them to thank for the fact that we have bison today. Alright, I'm going to stand over in the shade for just a minute. I'm hearing kind of a whirring noise, not the bugs, but from over here. That might be the fan going crazy on the encoder, trying to keep it cool. Yeah, that thing is loud. Here. So far it's working though. But I'm just going to give it a little bit of a rest, sit here in the shade for a minute. This is Danny, an actual camel random bug. Come to think of it, I should have brought my water bottle with me, huh? I might ask a worker here if there's any drinking fountains around. I could buy a bottled water too, but that's kind of, I don't know, kind of against my philosophy. I try not to buy single-use plastic like that if I can ever help it. And if I do ever have to buy a plastic water bottle, I make sure I reuse it 100 times. Yeah, reduce, reuse, recycle. So a lot of this stuff just isn't getting recycled anymore at all. So the best thing you can do is just reduce your use. Use a metal water bottle and use it 1,000,000 times so you really get, you know, get enough use out of it so that it's worth it. Reduce is the best. Exactly, Kate Potts. Exactly. I'm all about that. Yeah, I might even wander out back to the car to get the water bottle, but we'll see. Yeah, how many people do we have watching, by the way? Let me check here. I don't know if Twitch will tell me. Live. 152 viewers, not bad. Not bad at all. For anybody who might be new here, let me reintroduce myself real quick. My name is Danny Anduza, and I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. So, I study fossils. I'm here in Montana, USA right now, in the town of Billings, at Zoo, Montana. This is the only zoo in the entire state of Montana. And I've never been here before. I lived in Montana for about 8 years before moving back to California. What was that noise? Is that the peacock making that noise? It sounded like several people yelling no at the same time. That was bizarre. I think it was the peacock. Yeah, maybe we'll go sit with the peacock for a minute while I cool down. And while the device cools down. Anyway, yeah, never been here to Zoo, Montana before. So I'm really excited to explore it with all of you. This has been super fun so far, and I hope you're having as good a time as I am. You know, normally I talk about fossils on these broadcasts. We're doing some of that today. I can't help but talk about fossils no matter what the other subject is that we're in conversation about. But, yeah. Man, he has got the right idea over there. Right there. And $2 for a water bottle, no thanks. Oh, you getting some rest? You're beautiful. We're not going to bother you. It's going over here. I'm going to come sit in the shade too. Or stand in the shade, rather. Yeah. You're okay. You relax. Don't worry about us. Nana Tyrannus' Danny, get some water. I'll go find a drinking fountain, Nana Tyrannus. Don't you worry. Yeah. Yeah. And let's see. Your AQI is also not good. What do you mean, Mr. Ictian? What are you talking about? AQI? Yeah. And Steffa Fritz, hey, welcome to Paleontologizing. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope you're having a good time so far. And if you've got to go do other stuff, I totally understand. And I appreciate you being here, and I hope you'll tune in the future too. I've got a lot of cool streams planned. But anyway, I'm going to go find some water right now. We will leave this peacock alone. Alright, there's got to be a drinking fountain around here somewhere, right? I can even check the map. Because they were kind enough to give me a map. Right here. It's nice to be able to sit in the shade. Alright, restrooms right there near the entrance. And I think those are the only restrooms here, so if they have a drinking fountain, it presumably would be there. Let's go try and find it. Let's see. Oh, air quality index, yeah, Mr. Ictian. Yeah. I've certainly experienced worse in California last fall. And I don't know if any of you saw that, but it was at the beginning of October, I think. There was that day when San Francisco, it was nighttime all day, because the smoke was that bad. It felt like it was, you know, outside it looked like it was about 9 or 10 p.m., you know, at midday. It was nuts. There's a video that you can find on YouTube. Just search like San Francisco Blade Runner smoke, and you'll see it. Somebody took some drone footage of the downtown in San Francisco, and they put the new Blade Runner music over it, and it really does, it fits right in. But let's find the restrooms here. There we are. there. Amphitheater. No, that's not a restroom. That's
an outhouse on a stage.
Must be in here. And here we are. Going in here right now. Very cool. There's that kookaburra over there too. And here we go. That's what we're after. All right. That'll be good enough for now. But yeah, let's poke around in here for a little bit before there's too many people who join us, before it gets too loud. Let's see. Not all of these are going to be inhabited at the moment. Winston the Sloth is supposed to be in here. And I don't see him yet, but sloths can be tough to spot. There we go. Take a look at that. Colombian red-tailed boa. Curled up right there. And look at that shed. It's the shed skin right there, just hanging off. Very cool. Got a zookeeper in there too.
Whoa, look at him.
Pretty neat.
Trying to get him to wait.
I don't know. She just popped in a second ago.
That's a boa constrictor, right?
Yep, yeah.
Look at like full. I'm gonna be He's moving. Is he moving? I hope he's okay.
Oh yeah, they stay still most of the time. Yeah. They'll have a meal and then they'll just sit still for like a week while they digest. Yeah. Yeah. They're not very active. Yeah. Very cool. Let's go over here and take a look at some of these critters. Is that a chuckawalla lizard? Or is that a... Oh, bearded dragon. This might be the same bearded dragon who went to the Dino Shindig, whom I saw there. Moana, the bearded dragon. Wow. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's a big one. I don't know if I've ever seen a bearded dragon that large before. I'll try and give you a sense of scale here. She's a big one. Look at her. Look at those cool spines projecting off of her sides. And down underneath her throat. That's where they get the name Bearded Dragon, I'm sure. It's funny. Last year when my students would ask me, like, Teacher Danny, are dragons real? I'd be like, yeah, sure. Komodo dragons, bearded dragons, leafy sea dragons. But not the ones from fantasy stories. But yeah. And Gary and Gillis says, hey, nice beard. Yeah, isn't that cool? She's a handsome lizard. And look here. We've got some kind of little owl. What are you? Eastern screech owl. She's tiny. Scout, the eastern screech owl. Before she lived at Zoo, Montana, she was hit by a car. This is why she only has one eye. Oh. Well, seems like she's got a pretty good life here nowadays. being an ambassador for members of the public. Oh.
But the paleontologist field isn't narrow to what we understand.
Cool.
On
I'll
the
let her do her
contrary, we
thing.
stretch our understanding
We've
to
got
try and take in the
California king
universe.
snake. Beautiful. All posed, nice and photogenic for us there on the rock. Very cool. King snakes are maybe my favorite snakes to see in the field, because not only do they eat, you know, rats and mice and stuff like that, so they're a good snake to have around in camp, but they also eat rattlesnakes too. So if you have a king snake around, you probably don't have to worry about stepping on rattlers. You know, just like that famous American yellow flag reminds us, you know, don't step on snakes, because they don't like it. I assume that's what that flag means anyway. And here we have a tiger salamander. Wow. She's a big one too. Look at her. You can see her little throat doulip going in and out. And she's breathing. Beautiful animal. Yeah. So I think these are one of the few salamanders that we actually get in like the middle of the country. And you don't always get them in like, I don't know, in coastal California we get like, you know, salamanders and newts, but they're always in pretty wet areas, redwood forests and stuff like that, and, you know, along the coast. Tiger salamanders, I think, are big enough where they can survive in drier climates too, which is pretty neat.
Contains almost all of the North American identified specimens.
Very cool. Yeah. And leopard gecko? Is that what it is? Yeah, leopard gecko. Eublepharis macularius is what the placard says there. When I was growing up, one of my best friends had a pet leopard gecko. Her name was Swift the gecko, not my friend. And I was always super. I would always ask him, like, how's Swift doing? Is she eating her crickets? One of my favorite critters when I was a kid. I always wanted one, but never had one. It may try to sell you insurance. Oh, and we've got a tarantula right there. That's funny, she's probably shed along the back part right there, which is why the colors are so vibrant. She's probably working on shedding some more up through here where the scales are a little bit more cloudy. That's my guess anyway. Beautiful animal. I love snakes. What was over here? American mink? I don't know if we'll be able to spot the minks, if they're even in here. They're very sneaky. If they don't want to be seen, then they won't be. Yeah. No obvious minks right now. Let's move on. Oh, we've got a ball python. curled up into a nice ball. Just doing what you do. I assume that's where they get that name. Yeah. Alright. And someone was talking about insurance earlier. This is that type of gecko. Madagascar day gecko. Might not be able to spot it. Oh, there it is right there. Big one. Wow, she's big. Check her out. Just on the green stalk of bamboo. She's not being super photogenic right now. So we'll give her some privacy. And we've got a cane toad in here? Yeah. Yeah, I can't see the cane toad very well. Is that a cane toad or is that a stone with some granite like inclusions in it? I don't know. And then another ball over there. Red-tailed boa. You see the little red tail poking out? Very cool. And green iguana! These are beautiful. I love green iguanas so much. Yeah. Very, very cool. And iguanas like this actually have a lot of significance in dinosaur paleontology. Some of the earliest dinosaur reconstructions were, believe it or not, based on iguanas, like Iguanodon. When scientists of the day, like Gideon Mantell, first found iguanodon teeth, they looked very iguanodon-like, and that's where it got the name Iguanodon, meaning iguana tooth. And since they didn't have very many pieces of iguanodon, because the teeth looked vaguely similar to iguana teeth, they reconstructed the whole thing like a giant iguana. Of course, iguanodon couldn't look any more different from an iguana. But at the time, they were doing the best with what they had. You gotta remember that. But yeah. Mighty Rancher says, my Theo has loads of those fellas in his backyard. They're like birds, though. That's so cool. They're such charismatic animals, and they're one of my favorite big lizards. They are really, really cool. This is Cusco, the green iguana. If I slowly bob my head up and down at you, that is my way of saying hello. Oh, cool. Well, if we can get him to pay attention to us. Bob the camera at him. Yeah. He's getting some shut-eye right now, so we'll give him some privacy too. We've got a three-toed box turtle in here. Don't know where it is. And not all the animals might actually be in their enclosures right now. We've got some chinchillas in here. Again, hiding. And here, we have a kookaburra. I wonder if this is the same one we saw on Sunday in Ekalaka. Are you Sydney? Sydney the kookaburra? Hi. You're beautiful. Wow. She doesn't know what to make of the camera. That's okay. Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm taking some video when people are watching live right now.
Did you take a picture of a peacock?
I did, yeah, the one that was walking around outside.
I saw it.
Pretty cool, right?
I saw you do it.
Oh, nice, nice. I did get a map, yeah, thank you. I've got it in my pocket right now. I think this is probably the same kookaburra that we saw on Sunday in Ekalaka at the dino show. very, very good kookaburra noise, yeah. She's a little bit scared of the camera, so that's probably why she's not making noise right now. You see her look at it? See how her head follows it? Yeah, I know, right? She probably thinks it's another bird or something. That's why she's puffing up her feathers to look big and scary.
Oh, because it has like those feathers on it?
Yeah, it's got this fuzzy stuff on it right here. Yeah, that helps it. So if there's a lot of wind outside, this makes it so that the microphone doesn't hear the wind. Yeah, so the wind doesn't get too loud for the microphone. Yeah.
So it doesn't ruin the picture.
Yeah, so it doesn't ruin the sound. Yeah, you're exactly right.
I'm trying to find where where you put your car. Here's
What
the
is it?
donkeys.
Yeah, did you see those yet? Yeah, they're pretty cool, huh?
Where you put your car?
Right over in the parking lot. Wow, pretty neat.
Wait, people are watching live?
Uh-huh, yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of people who are typing into here right now. And,
That's cool.
thanks, yeah. There's a bunch of people watching. And they all think the kookaburra is really, really neat.
I think this is where we were taking the
Maybe, yeah, where the peacock was? Yep. Cool. Yeah, look at her. I'm sorry. Here, if I go like this, does it help? Kookaburra? Oh. She is like, how did that other bird get out? Yeah, and kookaburras are so neat. So they are actually the world's largest members of the kingfisher family. These are like giant kingfishers. And kingfishers in other places, they catch fish, you know. They just dive into the water and... I do see the bird, yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Do you know what kind of a bird that is? It's called a kookaburra.
That's a kookaburra.
Yeah, they're from Australia. Do you know what they eat? They eat lizards and snakes and bugs, yeah. And probably like mice and stuff too. They've got that big sharp beak that they use for catching their prey.
I don't think they would want to eat that.
You don't think so? You don't think they'd want to eat the chinchilla?
It's a thing.
It is? I didn't see the chinchilla. Did you see it? I couldn't find it. Yeah? Oh, it's in the log?
You have to bend down.
Oh, down there.
Yeah, it's in the log.
Oh, super cool. I do, yeah. Wow, it's a big chinchilla. They have the softest fur. It's amazing. You ever got to pet a chinchilla before? Even softer than this. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think you want to pet one of those.
No.
There we go.
Uh-huh. Look at how big her beak is.
Yeah.
It's great for catching little animals and eating them.
That kind bird.
Very cool.
That kind bird.
Pretty neat.
I once fell face first on the road.
What's that?
Face first on the road.
Who did?
Me.
Really? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you're okay. Yeah? Yeah, there's a lizard toy in there? Yeah, she probably likes to play with that. Yeah, because she'll eat lizards in the wild, so maybe that's like a toy for her to play with, so she could pretend like she's eating.
There's two toys on toys.
Yeah, there's a yellow one over there and an orange one right there. I see that, yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
What? You see the birdie?
All right, let's take a look at this monitor lizard over here. Check that out, Savannah monitor. Very cool. There's the remains of some of its victims. I'm totally kidding. Yeah. There's a deer skull, horse skull, or maybe a zebra skull. Probably a horse skull, though. We are in Montana. Yeah, Savannah monitors are from, if I remember correctly, from North Africa. They might go all the way south down to like South Africa, too. Southern Africa and the country of South Africa. They're pretty widespread. Really, really adaptable animals. Yeah, big lizard, huh? Over there? And that one's real. That's not a toy. That's a real lizard. Pretty cool, huh?
Let's go down to it. Hey, come over here.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what. That lizard's not real.
Yeah, that's a plastic lizard, but this lizard over here is definitely real. That's a savanna monitor. These are meat-eating lizards.
Yeah.
So they'll eat like little mammals, and they'll eat eggs and stuff. They'll try and steal eggs from birds. What's that?
Squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel up there. Yeah, that's not a living squirrel. Good spot though. Yeah, I didn't even see that. Yeah, not a live squirrel.
Look at that. Look at that owl.
Yeah, I've got some owls up there and some magpies. Did you see the magpies up there? Yeah.
There's only one owl.
Yeah.
And there's another bird.
I know. That looks like a bird of prey. Maybe a golden eagle or something, or a red-tailed hawk.
That's probably
Yeah, I think it's a red-tailed hawk.
If the situation calls for still more
See how the tail is
protection,
like a little bit
the
reddish
blue
color?
spears which projected from his
Where
body
do you get
armor.
that name? Pretty cool.
There's like a decoration on the neck right
There is, yeah. Pretty neat, huh? Pretty cool. Did you see the plastic dinosaur motif bin right there? Alright, see you later.
Where are you going?
We're gonna go out there and go see some more animals.
Like the tiger?
Yeah, I haven't seen the tiger yet, and everybody's really excited to see the tiger, so I'm gonna show them.
Yeah, and there's also a new panda bear.
Yeah, the red pandas?
Yeah.
Really excited to see them too. Cool. I'll see you around, okay? I haven't. I'm really excited to. Yeah. All right, I'll see you guys later, okay?
We saw them.
You saw them? Were they cool?
Tiger.
Yeah?
I saw all the animals.
Awesome. Cool. You've been around. All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Man, it really smells like smoke out here. Yeah, Miss Strickton, I think your AQI is probably getting worse. That was fun. I don't know. People around here could be really outgoing. I don't know. I feel like back home in Oakland, nobody would approach me with this sort of thing. Our peacock friend again. Yeah. All right. And Kamina, you're in Idaho and the smoke is terrible? I'm sorry. Yeah. Lordy and Ios are actually flying out here to meet me in Bozeman tomorrow night, and I really hope that the smoke isn't this bad in Bozeman. It probably will be. This is kind of the new normal around here. Denver is smoggy too? Oh, puzzle dusted. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, today's the first day I've really had to deal with any smoke on this whole trip. But it's gonna start catching up. Maybe it's just LA. That's probably LA, Moosey Fate. In Northern California, we love to rag on LA, and I'm sure they do the same thing for the Bay Area. Yeah, I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna have a quick little snack, and then we'll continue on and see some more critters. I'm impressed with how not busy the zoo is so far. Like, there's not huge crowds of people. I tried to get here opening and didn't quite. Still, it's been nice not having to deal with giant crowds or anything so far. I didn't know, but there's a river running through the middle of the zoo.
That looks like a natural river. I don't think that's an artificial feature there.
We've got a lot of rivers in this part of Montana. That's why Lewis and Clark came through here. Back around, what was it, 1805? Following the Missouri. Yeah. DK79 says Snake River. Is that right? I've rafted the Snake River in Wyoming. But I'm not sure if that's... Yeah. Huh. Missy Pate says, Midwest, it's always about the states. Yeah. Moosey Fate, are you from the Midwest? And if so, which are the states that you consider to be part of the Midwest? Because I've met people from Kansas and Missouri, and they're like, oh yeah, we're the Midwest. I've met people from Michigan and Wisconsin, and they're like, no, we're the real Midwest. That's the Missouri and Kansas. I've heard people from Arkansas say they're from the Midwest. Like everybody's got. It's a if you are from the Midwest, but you don't want other people in other states to be from the Midwest. At least impression. I brought some food with me, Moosey Fate. Yeah. Now let's see. NorCal feels like a different world. Yeah, Mighty Rancho. California should really be like 5 or 6 states. That's too big to be one state. It's got too many people. It's got too many different regions and biomes. Yeah. It's like 6th largest economy in the world. California. It's got an economy larger than like France or Germany, I think. Just nuts. Yeah. Oh, breaking up? Well, shoot. Let me give you one. I think maybe that bench may have been acting like a Faraday cage or something. Hopefully it'll improve as we walk along. This buzzing. Are these cicadas? What those are. But so far, a great time here. This has been really cool. Oh, a little bee house. Cool. I'm sure you could make one of these at home if you wanted to. For mason bees. Very neat. Mason bees are small bees native to North America and are very good pollinators for flowers and fruit trees. They visit as many as 1,000 blooms per day. Such hard workers. And those are the females who do that, right? At least with honeybees, it's the females who do all the work outside the hive. The males just stay inside and, beat their wings to help circulate air. And they impregnate the queen, and it's pretty much all they do, I think. Alright, so we're walking along here. You can see how hazy the sky is. I can smell the smoke now. It's pretty bad. We've got, grasshopper right here. Yeah, you better move or you're going to be fish food. I wouldn't do that. There should be a saying about how busy bees are. You're right, Moosey Fate. You're so creative. That's why we keep you around. Who else would have thought of that, Yeah, this is definitely an actual river here. I don't know which one it is. It could be the Yellowstone River. We are in Yellowstone County right now, in Billings. If we see somebody who works here, maybe we'll ask. But so far, I'm pretty impressed with this little zoo. When I was at Montana State University for undergrad, people would talk about the zoo in Billings. And be like, oh yeah, they've got a squirrel and they've got a raccoon. And that's it. No, they were totally wrong. There's some cool stuff here. It's just a river. How many zoos have a river, a natural river, running through them? That seems pretty special. Oh, it says Canyon Creek. Well, okay. It's a creek. I know other parts of the country isn't up to river standards for Montana. But, yeah, cool. The creek is called Canyon Creek. Thank you, Claire. Yeah. And Solid Gray Fox says, yeah, I heard of a woman who was living in her car for years at Montana State. Oh, yeah. The grad students only recently unionized a couple of years ago, and like 20 years or something like that. It probably wasn't 20 years. But yeah, especially adjunct and like part-time faculty are enough at Montana State. Alright, so we could go to Asia, we could go to Rocky Mountain Adventure, or we could go to America's Waterways. Let's go to Asia, and we will see some of the most popular animals before things get too busy here, and before it gets too hot. Maybe the tigers and their thing. Star attractions here. So I'm excited to see for myself, too. Never been here before. Oh, that was in reference to San Francisco. Oh, gotcha, Solid Gray Fox. What do we have over here? This is not going to be the tiger, because it's easily jump this fence. Where are you, gray wolf? Wait, no, that's... There we go. Oh, that big wild doggo. Very cool. It is too hot for wolves today. Very neat. I remember the first time I saw a wild wolf was in Yellowstone. Probably around 2017. Saw like 5 of them in the same day. Actually, they were in a group. Very social animals. You do get lone wolves, and you get like pairs, but they like to be in a pack. Can be. Very social animals. Aww. Wolves are so cool. I was reading about wolves and about the public's perception of wolves and how it just runs the gamut. They're such misunderstood animals. And there are people who, especially a lot of people in this part of the world, who just loathe wolves, especially hunters and people who, if they could, they would just drive them into extinction. Yeah, and people are terrified of wolves. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have people who just deify wolves, who think that they're like, you know, don't mean to disparage anybody's religion. I'm talking about people who just wolves to the point where they don't really see them as real animals anymore. They anthropomorphize them too much. And it's, I don't know. A researcher was saying that, like, that's the biggest problem with wolves, is that people have such varying perceptions of them. You need to recognize them as real living animals, you know, but animals nonetheless, you know? We should respect them, respect the fact that, like, you know, these are creatures that could kill and eat you if they really wanted to. And it's a wonder that they don't do that more often. We should be really, really grateful, I guess, that they don't go after people more often. It's shocking how few, like, wolf-related fatalities there are here in North America. I think there's only, like, it's like fewer than 5 actual recorded cases of people being killed by wolves over, like, the past 100 years or something like that. I mean, more people are killed by pigs or vending machines, like, every year than by wolves in the past century. Kind of insane. Yeah. Yeah. And there, yeah. You're totally right about that. We'll leave the wolves to do their thing. And, let's go see who else we have over here.
We missed the American badger and otter and waterfowl, so we'll probably go back and see them eventually. Now, let's go see if we can find
our Amur tiger. Oh, here's the wolverine over here. Cool.
Let's hope there is a inhabiting it right now. There it is right there. There might be two of them. It almost looked like two, kind of like snuggling up or wrestling in that log over there.
They're not being super. We'll move on and see if we can find some other critters. Machine stalking behavior is very well documented, yeah. Man, these cicadas are nuts. I didn't know that we had cicadas in Montana like this. I guess we didn't have them in Bozeman. And I guess I never stayed in any place long enough in central Montana to really hear them, or... Yeah. It could also be like a yearly cycle thing where they only come out every few years or something. Cicadas are really cool like that. Alright, I see a waterfall up ahead through the trees. That looks like it could be a big enclosure for something like a tiger. So let's go see. And there we go. I think there is text-to-speech for bits, Kamina, but I'm not 100% sure. I just set that up out yet, so you can certainly give it a shot. All right. Is our tiger enclosure. And there, sitting in the shade trying to keep cool. Beautiful. It is too hot to be out doing active tiger things. They're doing now. I'm splashing around, but it's probably too hot to do that as well. They've got a pretty nice enclosure here. Pretty high fence. That's necessary. These critters can jump like, it's like 14 feet just from the ground without even a running start. Just boing, like that. But they usually won't do that unless they're like being harassed or something. There's a famous case where an Amur tiger got out of its enclosure and mauled some people at the San Francisco Zoo. I think it was on Christmas Day in like 2004. But people who were harassing the tiger and like throwing stuff at her and like I think throwing beer bottles or something. You can read about it online. I'm sure there's a Wikipedia article about it. Yeah, the tiger she'd never shown any interest in getting out of her enclosure, and then somebody made her mad enough, and then she just did. Very cool. Well, we'll have to walk by here again and see if they're doing anything else. Can you see them properly right now? And Kirsten says, I was working with tigers at another zoo when that happened. We did a huge review of our exhibits to make sure it wouldn't happen to us. Yeah. That's the thing, is that the same zoo in San Francisco years before, where a tiger got, I don't know, about it. And then it happened again years later, but it was provoked. It was not like the tiger got nuts. This tiger had been, was being verbally abused by these really obnoxious people. And some of them paid for that with their lives. Oh, we were talking about people are killed every year by vending machines than by wolves, and so we're going to keep our distance. Hope that it doesn't charge. Okay, I think we're in the clear. All right. Just more view of the tigers. I mean, these are animals that could traverse, dozens of territories. So it's a good thing they've got such a big enclosure out here. And here, this is probably after the San Francisco incident. They probably added this. These must be electrified wires. Yeah. And these look just kind of like this was designed to put these electric wires in place. It seems like an ad hoc thing done afterward. Yeah. These are the largest cat in the world, Amur. They used to be called Siberian tigers, but they've got a much wider range than just Siberia, which I think is one of the reasons why the name has been changed. Pretty cool. Very, very neat. One of the largest carnivorous terrestrial mammals in the world. Much bigger carnivorous mammals in the sea, like orcas. And depending on who you ask, considered carnivorous if they eat zooplankton and krill and stuff. Is that carnivory? Is filter feeding carnivory? I don't know. I'm sure it depends on who you ask. All right. Alright, connectivity is dropping over here. We'll see if it gets better. Alright. Are we better now? Showing only 768 kilobytes per second. That's really low. Well, I wish I could show you the red panda. Yeah. Let's see what the red pandas. Well, we'll try and go back to a spot where we've got better reception. Alright, are we better now, anybody? Can you see me? No, signal's still really bad. Alright, I'm trying to move to a spot. We'll see here. Still not good yet? Okay, well, at least you can see and hear me, or you can understand what I'm saying. I feel like really bad there for a minute. Still not great. Still not great. It's improving a little bit. Hey, tiger friends. Very cool. Just doing their best to keep cool right now. DK79. Exactly. Welcome to Montana, where there's more dinosaur fossils than internet. Or cell phone service, for that matter. Yeah. This is true. Alright, let's go off in this direction. See if the signal gets a little bit better. I want our cellular data. If they're broadcasting at the same frequency. And they're loud. Let's just go off in this direction. Improvements here. Got. It would drop off too quick. Interface is 2 out of 4. Let me check on something real quick. Okay. Can you guys see me now? Check on our... There we go. Signal's getting a little bit better. I can see it on the encoder. We're at about 2,000 kilobytes per second now. Ideally, we should be between like 3 and 4. Or higher. That's what we got right now. Okay. I'm gonna go this way. Or actually, no, we're gonna go this way because I haven't been over here yet. We'll see what's going on in this area.
This is clearly like a... They must have like a little tram that goes through here during the holiday season. Got all these Christmas lights and everything.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Billings is the... If there's any city in Montana, it would be Billings. I still call it a town, because I'm from the Bay Area, but, you know, Billings has got a population of like over 100,000 people. You could probably call it a metropolitan area. They should have pretty good signal. But, I don't know, it's Montana, you know? If you've got AT&T or Sprint or T-Mobile or, heaven forbid, Metro, you're probably not going to get much reception anywhere outside of, like, you know, town centers. Got a golden eagle over there. We might go see that in a minute. But let's check out what's over here with this running water. Canada lynx. Can we spot the lynx?
It's got to be somewhere in the shade. If I were a lynx, it's just hot out, I would be under a log in the shade on the ground.
Yeah, might not be able to see it right now. Let's go check out the golden eagle and see if we can spot that. Interesting, Kamina, huh? building a house in the country in Montana. He probably had Starlink or something like that, or like some other kind of satellite setup. All right, where is our golden eagle?
For the stars and their true readers wanna know what it's like.
This is the largest bird of prey in North America, golden eagle. Largest by mass. Unless you count condors, I guess. Condors would also be...
Depending on how you look at it, they'd also be a bird of prey. Or a bird of... bird of prey implies that they eat live animals. But they're predators. Condors aren't really predators, to my knowledge.
They're like obligate scavengers, I think. Yeah, very cool, golden eagle.
They ain't a lot cooler than a lot of the mammals. It's that dinosaur thermoregulation. They've got such an efficient means of like heat dissipation. They're pretty great at that kind of thing.
Yeah. Golden eagle.
Just gorgeous. Really, really beautiful bird. I remember on not one, but 2 different occasions in the field, I've seen a golden eagle flying over the field vehicle with a snake in its talons.
It's the first time was magical like that. To see it a second time a year later was incredible. Very, very cool.
Golden eagles, a lot like dromaeosaur dinosaurs, they actually have a hypertrophied digit 2 claw. So like the sickle claw on Velociraptor or Deinonychus or Utahraptor. You know, in eagles it's not nearly as big, but it is bigger than all the other claws. And probably had the same function. So yeah, raptor dinosaurs, dromaeosaurs didn't use their claws for slashing or probably for climbing prey. They probably used it for grasping, just like modern day hawks and eagles do.
There's a turkey vulture over there. Another one over there. Man, that's so cool. I grew up with turkey vultures. There's a big eucalyptus tree behind my mom's house growing up. And especially on rainy days, you just see like a whole troop of turkey vultures just sitting there in the tree, kind of brooding, like waiting out the storm. It was always really, really cool.
These are severely underappreciated birds, I feel. Turkey vultures they're amazing animals. They can just soar and glide for miles and miles and miles. And their sense of smell is second to none. I mean, they can smell a carcass from miles and miles away. Their olfactory bulb is the part of their brain that's devoted to olfaction, to smelling. It's huge. They are incredible. I don't know if you can see them back there, out in the shade, but looks like one of them is waiting to be fed or something. It's out there by the gate.
Yeah, turkey vultures. Very cool.
And Mr. Dickney says, I've seen vultures actively predating a mouse before. That might have been a rare exception to the rule, though. Yeah, there are documented cases of vultures eating baby animals, like preying on like baby sea turtles and stuff. So they do occasionally hunt their prey. I mean, they're not exclusively scavengers. They will occasionally eat living things if the opportunity presents itself and if it's an easy meal. But for the most part, that's how they make their living, is through scavenging. Yeah. Oh, and there's the red-tailed hawk up there. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this with the camera.
Up there is a beautiful red-tailed hawk.
Can you see it? Give me a 3 if you can see it.
Miss Strictian, that's really funny.
You can see it? Alright, awesome. And St. Louis Moose's condors are very large vultures. They are... So
So they're a different genus than vultures. I don't know if they're true vultures or if there's something a little bit distinct, but they are related. Yeah, yeah. I don't know whether. Oh, there goes the sprinklers. I don't know whether or not condors will ever eat live prey. If they'll ever hunt things. I would figure we'd probably know. All of the condors in California are accounted for. I mean, they've all been captive bred. The story of the condor is just amazing. Like, I read like a great big book on condors once about the story of their conservation, and
Fire sign of the horns fire.
yeah, there was a time when there were like 28 condors left, California condors left in the entire world. Something like that. There's not many at all. And a bunch of people got together and they tried to decide what was to be done about these. Like, how do we save these creatures from the brink of extinction? Because a few more years like this, and they'll all be gone. Forever. So they knew they had to do something about it. And it was a big controversy, like what they would do in order to help, conserve the condor. There's a lot of argument about it, and eventually, the side that won out was the side who wanted to capture all of the California condor, bring them into captivity, and captive breed them. And it's been a success story so far. And there's now something like, I don't know, somebody can look it up and tell me how many condors are alive in the wild right now. It's far more than 28. It's like in the low hundreds, I think. Yeah. But imagine that, like going out and trying to catch every last living member of a species of animal that might soon be extinct. Like how nerve-wracking that must be. With red-tailed hawks, obviously we don't have to worry about that. These guys are very widespread, and they do pretty well. In like close to human civilization. You've probably seen a bunch of red-tailed hawks sitting on telephone poles and stuff if you're ever driving out in a rural area in the United States. Red tails are just about everywhere. In fact, there's lots of other species of hawk that are less common than red tails that often don't get noticed or ID'd because people are like, oh yeah, it's another red-tailed hawk. There's sharp-shinned hawks and Cooper's hawks and red-shouldered hawks. But yeah, the red tails are just so common in most places that everybody assumes that if you see a hawk, it's a red tail. But if you're really lucky, you will see other kinds of hawks in other places. In the Presidio in San Francisco, where I was teaching for the past 2 years, doing outdoor education, there is, I want to say it's the densest population of red-shouldered hawks anywhere in the world. In the city of San Francisco, within the city boundaries, in the Presidio, which is basically like, it's a national park right there, smack dab on the north side of San Francisco. You cross the Golden Gate Bridge from up north into the city, and then you're in the Presidio there. So those these beautiful redwood trees and eucalyptus trees and lots of habitat there, and the red-shouldered hawks love it. And they are all over the place. Like, you will see multiple red-shouldered hawks every day if you spend any time in the city. It's pretty cool. We've got a great horned owl over here, apparently. I don't see it yet. Where are you, great horned owl? There's something over there. That is not an owl. Is that a porcupine? Oh, it is. North American porcupine. Oh, yeah. Chilling in the shade over there. Hey, porcupine. Very cool. All those quills sticking up like that. That's probably to help dissipate heat. I remember finding a porcupine skull in the field. Not a fossil one, just like a modern porcupine skull. And they have the weirdest looking skulls. They are so strange.
And when parts of the skull is, if a part of the skull is missing, it makes it look even more bizarre. They're really cool. I forget, are porcupines, I don't think they're rodents, but I know they're close relatives of rodents. Yeah. Oh, they are rodents. The second largest rodents in the United States, tipping the scales at 20 pounds. The agouti is probably the first largest. And there's the turkey vulture taking wing over there. Hey, turkey vulture. Doing some vulturing. Yeah. I still don't see our owl. Owl might be inside right now. But we'll go say hello to the turkey vulture up close. Hopefully I can find a good spot where you can see this beautiful, very underappreciated animal. Random bug. It's easy to spot Tony Hawks in the wild. And euphoric liquid, hey, I've never been to this zoo either. This is my first time, and I'm really excited to be able to share it with you. This is not the normal kind of thing I do on this channel, but I didn't have any dinosaur museums to visit today. So this is, you could say it's the next best thing, or you could say it's better, if this is your kind of thing. Yeah, there's turkey vulture over there. Very cool. You see that head? Featherless head right there. Helps keep it nice and clean as it's picking into animal carcasses. Very cool. Wow. A neat animal. Now, these guys are actually pretty easy to spot in the wild. If you see them circling around, their silhouette is kind of easy to distinguish from other birds of prey like hawks or eagles. Because as they've got their wings extended and they're kind of soaring, it'll be at like a slight up angle, so they'll make like a shallow V. Whereas most hawks and eagles, it's more kind of straight out to the sides, but these guys have a slight up angle to their wings as they're soaring. So even from really far away, you can tell it's a turkey vulture and not something else. You know, if I were better at bird identification, I'm sure I could tell you a lot about the exact shape of the silhouette of the primary feathers and all of that stuff, but I'm a paleontologist, I'm not an ornithologist. And I can't really call myself a birder either, I'm not that dedicated. But I do love birds. And I think that is cicadas, euphoric liquid, yeah. It's funny, I lived in Montana for like 8 years, and I don't remember cicadas. But maybe it's a once in a 10-year thing or something like that. But yeah, they are loud. Oh, and over here, grizzly bears! Very cool. Check that out. Wow. This is a real Montana treat right here. Being able to see this animal. If we're lucky, it'll walk even closer to us. Maybe take a dip in the pool or something. Man, he is feeling the heat today. Just look at that labored walk. I feel you, bud. It is hot out today. Henny's wants to know, did any dinos live in trees? Well, they certainly do today. Birds do. We don't have great evidence for, like, non-avian dinosaurs living in trees. But almost some of them probably did. Probably like Microraptor. There's another one. It's much more sprightly. Probably a lot younger. Is she a female? Those might be both females. I don't know. The males usually have really high withers, so like they've got like a ridge between their shoulders. So that might be a male on the left and a female on the right. I don't know. And see how they're picking at the grass? The grizzly bears are mostly herbivorous. I
think a lot of people don't realize that. They mostly eat plants. They'll eat grass, they'll eat roots, they'll eat berries and things like that. That's the majority of their diet is vegetative matter. It's plants. It's mostly what they eat. Grizzly bears are, they're kind of a symbol of the state of California where I'm from. It's pretty sad. We've got a grizzly bear on our flag, but in the state of California, grizzlies have been extirpated. There are none left anywhere in California in the wild. If you read accounts of like European settlers and explorers who came to California early on, they talk of like walking into a valley or a meadow and just seeing dozens upon dozens of grizzlies just walking around grazing on grass. They used to be everywhere out there. And then they were all just hunted to the point where they all disappeared. All killed. You can still see grizzly bears in the wild in places like Montana and Wyoming, Idaho, and Canada. Really cool. Very neat. I was hoping he would go take a dip in the water, but he seems to be more interested in food right now. Very cool. There. Keep walking along this way. Maybe we can catch a glimpse through the fence. Yeah. Annie says, I can't believe some bears can climb trees. Annie, I think most bears can. Grizzlies can't really. They're too big. Like, they're too heavy. But black bears are amazing tree climbers. I think spectacled bears are also very good climbers. Pandas can't really climb. But I think sloth bears can climb too. Sun bears. I think most bears can climb. Most bears we have around today, at least. It's hard to imagine Pleistocene cave bears or short-faced bears climbing at all. Very cool. Yeah, big enclosure. I wish my apartment were that big. Who am I kidding, though? I can leave my apartment anytime I want. These guys can't really leave here. Wow. Super cool. And the cicadas, you can really hear them right now. Yeah. Sun bears are so funny. They look like people wearing a bear costume. Have you seen the photo? You should look it up right now. Claire, if you're watching, maybe you can pull this up. But just search I think it's either a sun bear or a sloth bear. But just search bear India motorcycle. It's one of my favorite images of all time. But it is I think it's a sloth bear. And it's sitting on the back of a motorcycle with its paws up on this guy's shoulder. The guy's got his hands on the handlebars. And the guy's he just looked very serious, just no nonsense. And the bear is it's really, really funny. And it's a real photo, I don't quite know the story behind it. But yeah, here, we'll go up here on this platform and see if we can see anything else. I don't think we'll be able to, but we can try. Heading up here. Maybe we'll get lucky and the grizzly be walking by here. Let's see. Ah, there we are. Yeah. Hanging out in the shade. Looking for some roots. They've got a really short face.
The grizzly that I saw in Yellowstone was a lot bigger than this. Doesn't seem like a particularly large one. It's probably a female. Kind of feminine about the way she's walking. Yeah. The sign doesn't say anything about it. There's the other one. I could definitely be wrong though. That could very well be a male. I don't know enough about bears. And DFW, bears are not related to dinosaurs. Not at all. Bears are much more closely related to you and to me than they are to dinosaurs. Bears are mammals. So, they have fur or hair, give birth to live young. Yeah. Bears are carnivorous mammals, so they're closely related to things like, well, close. Close is relative. But they are carnivorous mammals, so they're related to other carnivorans like dogs and cats, hyenas, otters, wolverines, raccoons, things like that. Like all of these animals, you can kind of picture them in your head, and they'll kind of, it makes sense that they fit into the same group,
32
right?
feet long and 14 feet high.
Yeah, any kind of mammal, anything with fur or hair that gives birth to live young. These critters are not related to dinosaurs. If you want some animals that are related to dinosaurs, check out some birds, because they are living dinosaurs. And we'll check out a bird nest right over here. They've got a really cool display with an osprey nest. So we'll take a look at that. People are not the only animals that build homes. Some other animals do too. And birds are kind of renowned for this. They're very good at it. This isn't the prettiest nest from a bird, but they only built the part with the sticks, the ospreys. But yeah, this says osprey nesting platform. As you drive the roads of Montana, watch for these large platforms atop telephone poles. Ospreys are raptors and expert fishing birds. Considered pack rats, their nests are large and consist of strange things such as hose, dolls, bags, and baling twine. However, many of these items can be deadly, especially the baling twine, as it often tangles in the youngsters' feet, causing them to hang to their death. The Yellowstone Valley Audubon Society is an active campaign to clean up and educate ranchers on the importance of cleaning up their baling twine. Very cool. So yeah, you do see a lot of these here in Montana, and also I'm sure Wyoming and Idaho, Utah, Colorado probably. I've even seen some of these platforms in California before. They've got like chain link underneath, so it's permeable, stuff can still fall through. But up top, got all these sticks and everything where they build their nests. Really cool. You often see these beside rivers, because osprey are piscivorous birds. And they do that by, they've got their toes, claws, and they'll just smack into a fish and banks with those feet. And then they'll take off into the air, between their claws like really, really cool birds. Osprey are amazing. They are really neat. And they're pretty distinctive. And if you ever have to ask yourself, is that an osprey? Then it probably isn't. They're very easy to spot. Here's a creek again, Canyon Creek. So this probably drains out into the Yellowstone River, I would imagine. And then, yeah, eventually all this water. So Canyon Creek, I very much doubt this is going to a lake or anything. This probably empties out into the Yellowstone River, which in turn empties out into the Missouri, because the Yellowstone is a tributary of the Missouri River. And the Missouri River empties out into the Mississippi River. and then out into the Gulf of Mexico. So the water that you see right here, if it doesn't evaporate, will end up in the Gulf of Mexico. Pretty cool. We're that far north up here in Montana, and all this stuff is going to end up in the Gulf of Mexico. Pretty neat. Alright, let's continue on this way. We'll see if I don't think we've seen the otters yet. We'll see if we can catch those. And then, I think that'll be mostly everything. You used to love watching the osprey fish? It's really cool, Miss Trictian. It's really, really cool to be able to see that. Grizzlies are the only animal that you fear? I don't know, I think I'd be more afraid of mountain lions than grizzlies. Cougars or pumas or mountain lions or catamounts or whatever you want to call them. They've got many, many names. But them, I mean, a grizzly bear or something like that, if it's going to attack you, you'll know about it before it's on top of you, you know? But a mountain lion, it could just be, you know, it jumps out of a tree, it bites you at the base of your neck and you're dead. Like, if it wants to kill you, it will. Usually they don't. They very, very rarely attack humans, only under like really weird circumstances. Only if they're really desperate. Same with grizzlies, I guess. But grizzlies at least like usually stand a fighting chance. Because you know they're coming. Cougars though, I don't know. Then again, I've not spent probably nearly as much time as you have out in this part of the country, Mr. Icthian, so you probably know better than I do. Anyway, these are guys that I've seen in the wild. Like less than a mile from my mom. It was probably like a spring day, and it was probably during spring break when I was in like middle school or something, before I started volunteering at the Paleontology Museum. So I would have had some more as a noble. And walked, you know, a little bridge over this canal, and I looked down. It was incredible. I had no idea that there were otters that lived so near to me. Here's the otter enclosure right here. And it might be too hot for them to be out and about right now, even in the water. I'm not seeing them. They are probably hiding in that log over there, I would think. Or somewhere cool like that. Yeah, kind of a shame. At the Oakland Zoo, the otters are always out and about, and they're always super rambunctious. They're one of those few animals where, like, you go to the zoo to see them, and then when you walk up to them, they're like more excited to see you than you are. It's like, no, you little guy, I'm here to see you. What do you think this is? Yeah. I guess Montana otters are just... I don't see them around anymore. Zookeeper up there, spraying some stuff down. Huh. Let's continue on in this direction. Maybe if we come back, the otters will be out doing that. Who knows? I gotta get some water soon, too. Let's see, did this disconnect? I've just got bad reception here. Hey, are we back? Sorry. The reception was really bad in there. Didn't have a lot of signal. But hopefully you can see me again. Billy Joe 00 says, did you ever go to wildlife rehabilitation centers? When I was a kid, I used to go to one all the time. This is the first time I've ever streamed from a zoo or anything. Like, normally I'm talking fossils, either from my office back home in Oakland, or at dinosaur museums, like I've been doing on this trip. But yeah, when I was a kid, I used to go all the time to the Wildlife Museum in Walnut Creek, California.
Do you think dinosaurs are put together
That was
correctly?
really cool.
The bones.
One of the, I think it's pretty
You're
famous,
smart.
the Wildlife
Very
Rehabilitation Center.
Do a research on that, Oliver.
I never.
But yeah, I haven't been. It says disconnected again. Okay, let me know if you can see or hear me right now. Okay, should be coming back online hopefully. I think I had good signal in this spot earlier. Let's see. And there you go, Kirsten, exactly. Yeah, if you're ever out in the backcountry in the spot where you've got grizzlies or mountain lions, then yeah, make noise as you walk, maybe wear a bell. Accidentally sneak up on a grizzly and her cubs would be bad news. And if you can, hike with a group. Bring at least one other person with you. Animals like that, they don't want to attack you, but sometimes if you sneak up on them, they kind of have to, you know? It would be beneath their dignity to just let you sneak up on them without doing something about it, you know? So yeah, make noise, hike with a group, and get some bear spray too. That's one of those really important things that a lot of people neglect. Bear spray is really easy to use. It's not that expensive. It's portable. Yeah, it's just, and it helps you feel a lot safer when you're out in the backcountry. I brought bear spray with me on this trip. I didn't think I'd really be out in the backcountry much, but when I was at Medicine Rock State Park yesterday, I had bear spray on me, just in case. And the cool thing is, I mean, honestly, you're far more likely to be accosted by, you know, like a person than a cougar or a bear out there. It works on people too. So yeah. Hopefully the signal picks back up in here in a second. I know it's dropping off over there. It says connected again for my chat for the phone, so hopefully we're good. It's going in and out. Ooh, signal's really bad here. I don't know what it could be. This is the same spot I was earlier. It was fine. I don't know. It's just how it works with Montana data networks, I guess. I don't know if you guys can see or hear me, but I can't see anything for chat. It says disconnect. Let's go check on the bison again. I know I had good signal up here. Yeah, bison have got the right idea. Just hunkering down. It must be stressful to be an animal in captivity like this and smell smoke around you, too. Like, that's not a happy smell for most animals. Well, you probably can't see this right now, but the bison again over there. Very cool. Taking a dust bath. Very neat. Let's see. Oh, it says connected. Our signal's still not very good, but I'm going to try and get to a spot where it's a little bit better. Given that we already saw the bison earlier, I think it's okay to not spend too much time with them. Walk back and forth across this causeway. Can you hear? Oh, thank you, Lordy. Okay, great. Wrap this up pretty soon. After I get some water, and then one of those animals indoors too, where it's nice and cool. I'll get some water there. Maybe there'll even be a zookeeper to speak with. New friends that I met at the Dino Shindig. Yeah. That's funny, like, when the signal goes wonky, the messages in chat double up. So Candle White and Kirsten, I've got double messages from both of you right now. It's interesting how that works. I don't know what the deal is there. Botanical garden area just a little bit before I go get some water. Garden. Very cool. Again, I'm really happy that things are not too crowded today. I thought it was going to be nuts. They told me come as early as you can if you want to stream from here. And so I did. And, yeah, not nearly as crowded as I was afraid it would be. Really not many people here at all. Wanted some quarters for feeding the animals. I should have just looked. Very nice. This would be a lovely place to have. I didn't bring lunch with me. I got a few snacks. But I'm starting to get hungry and I'm starting to get thirsty. So I think I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. Yeah. Can't see or hear me? Okay, shoot. For some reason the signal is dropping out again and again. And I'm not doing anything different. So, it might be our sign to wrap this up pretty soon. Yeah. Thank you, Lordy. Hopefully it improves in just a minute here. Let me check my bandwidth. 461 kbps. That's not great. Why it's being so squirrely right now. See if I can get it hooked up to the Wi-Fi again. Alright, it's connecting to the Wi-Fi, so hopefully that improves things. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go get some water and... This is empty.
This is really surprising to me. I don't know if you can see this right now. Yeah.
What's up with my MiFi puck? It still says it's connected. Okay. That's good. I was afraid it had overheated or something. Yeah. These mobile live stream setups are so many moving parts. It's nuts. I mean, I think everybody here now probably has some appreciation for how complicated it is to get this stuff to run. It's a lot. It really is. So I'm very grateful anytime it's working properly. Because man, when it doesn't want to, it just doesn't. So yeah. Yeah. Hydrate and take care of yourself. I will, Kamina. Thank you. I'm gonna go get some water right now as we speak. Just walking toward the
front entrance thing.
The gift shop and the restrooms and all that. Here's our peacock friend again. Hey, peacock friend.
How you doing? Wow, Dusty. Dusty there. All that dust is from you? Check that out. Look at all that dust on the ground. It all came off of this peacock just a second ago. Wow. Were you doing a dust bath over there to cool yourself off? You probably were. You're a smart critter.
Alright. I'm gonna get some water. And then maybe we'll check out our peacock again. And find somebody to raid. Oh, it's so quiet in here. Nice and cool. Hey there, Kookaburra.
Hi. I can't get you to do your call? Okay. You're not gonna play the game? That's fine.
I used to be so much better at Kookaburra calls. I don't know what happened. Lack of practice, I guess. Yeah, alright, here's the drinking fountain. All these cool dinosaurs. I know, right, Mayor Space? Yeah. Difference between poison and venom. I've never actually seen it spelled out like this before. I've only kind of reasoned my way through it. Poisonous things, you know, when you bite them, when you ingest them, you know, that's when it's bad news for you. Venomous things, they bite you or they otherwise inject you with their venom. It's like venom is injected, poison is ingested. So it's cool to actually see that spelled out here. I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen that spelled out before. It's cool. Alright. And here we've got, remember the kids were pointing this out earlier? We're going to see plenty of these birds if we do an outdoor stream in Bozeman, I think. These are magpies, black-billed magpies. These are an iconic bird in this part of the world, in southwest Montana. Especially around Bozeman. Actually, we're in central Montana here in Billings. But when we go to Bozeman, we will see lots and lots of black-billed magpies all over the place. Really charismatic birds. Maybe not as charismatic as this kookaburra, but still. She follows the camera. Or maybe she's not doing that right now. Have you lost interest in the camera? That's cool. I don't want you to be scared of it. Man, she's so cool. Very, very neat. Yeah. Oh, and you have magpies in Belgium. Very cool, Java. Yeah. They are very, very smart. Magpies are some of the smartest birds. They're related to corvids. They're related to crows and ravens. They're part of the same broad group of birds. Yeah. The group is called. It's the group that's larger than Corvidae. But anyway, yeah. I'm not certain. Yeah. Anyway, this has been so much fun, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. Sorry about the signal issues, but this sort of thing happens with IRL streams, you know? Comes with the territory. Here, the territory being Montana. Yeah. This has been really cool. I'm going to sit down and find somebody to raid, and then I'm going to go back to my hotel and get out of this smoke. Because it's getting worse. Ugh. Let's see if I can set this up like a tripod. Oop, there goes the camera, the microphone. Stick that back on there. There we go. Oh. Should have 3D printed more than one of these cases. This one's getting a little worse for wear. But it'll do for now. Hey, Nun Pizza. Is this your first time here at Paleontologizing? This is not my normal kind of stream. But I'm glad you had fun today. This was a lot of fun to do. And I look forward to seeing you in the future in other streams. Going to be doing a lot of museum visits and some streams from inside the car. Cooking with Lordy is going to be joining me in just a little bit, and we're going on this really awesome road trip. It's going to be really cool. But for right now, let's see. Do we have any suggestions on whom we should raid? I don't know who else is live right now. I could check. Third stream. Oh, cool, Nun Pizza. Well, welcome. It's great to have you. Let's see. Got Marine Mammal Rescue. We've got Hoot House. Let's do Marine Mammal Rescue. And we'll see some marine mammals doing their thing. So let's see. Oh, is Balint streaming right now? Wow. Let's do that. Let's do that, Claire. That's a great idea. Raid BKASOH, is that right? BKACSOH. So everybody, we're gonna go say hello